You, sir.
Yeah, good. Fine, how's it going?
Well, it's going. Obviously, yesterday was a tough one. Hasn't gone the way I think any of us expected over the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to ask you, Coach, right off the top, any loss is tough, I know. Division losses are even tougher, especially with so much to play for. 2 weeks in a row now, the Patriots have kind of uncharacteristically come out a little flat and let the opponents start fast. Is there any one thing that you can attribute that to?
No, we just need to coach and play better, obviously.
Bill, now that you had an opportunity to look at the film, and it's always hard when you're looking at the film to maybe find positives after a game like that. Is there one specific area that you were able to take away and go, okay, here's what we did well, and maybe be able to use that obviously next week against Jacksonville?
Well, I think there are a lot of things we did well. We just didn't do them well enough, often enough. Obviously the biggest problem in the game was third down. Had we done a better job on third down, then things probably would have looked differently. Third and fourth down on defense, combination of it. We're 1 for 10 on third down on offense, and 6 for 12, and then they're 3 for 4 on fourth down. So that would have been a big factor in the game had we done that better.
Bill, when you look at the David Andrews taunting call, that's a guy that is constantly sticking up for your quarterback, protecting him. How hard is it as a coach to balance your guys sticking up for one another, but also walking that fine line before a call could be called on them?
Yeah, well, that's what we want to do and try to do is support our teammates and not get penalized. So. Not really sure about that call, but they made it. So,
Coach, there was a pivotal swing, and of course, in a game where very few miscues can be tolerated, or any, especially when you're playing a team as good as Buffalo. Towards the end of the first half, there was that series of events where a unnecessary roughness is called, or rather, there's the late hit on Jerry Hughes. And then they pick up the flag, and then Trent Brown is later called for unsportsmanlike conduct. But getting up to we saw how animated you were. Did the officials offer any particular explanation as to why they picked that flag up when Miles Bryant was called for something similar just a couple weeks back in Buffalo?
Yeah, well, I think the officials gave a report after the game on that call. So. That's really, that's really about. I wouldn't have anything more to add to that.
Bill, you talk about third down, especially offensively, going 1 for 10. Do you feel like the reason why you guys were so poor on third down is you weren't really able to capitalize on first and second down, those being the most important downs, obviously put you into a good third and short situation?
Well, that was definitely part of the problem. We had some long yardage situations, but they weren't all third and tens, but there were some, and that was a problem. But just in general, we didn't do very well on third down. A couple of them we converted on fourth down, but just overall our third down offensive and defensive execution wasn't. Just wasn't good enough to, against a team like Buffalo.
Bill, when you look at not being able to force a punt at all during the game, how do you take that and can you take that and make it a learning experience for the team in practice this week to make sure that doesn't happen again moving forward?
Yeah, well, if you stop them on third down, then you got a chance to force them punt. If we don't stop them on third down, then, then they're stay on the field. So, got to play better third down defense, got to play better third down offense, and playing better on early downs will help us, control the yardage in those situations.
Patriots coach Bill Belichick joins us on the Harbor One hotline. Heading into yesterday's game, Coach, the Bills, both teams had some COVID issues. Kendrick Bourne was cleared of the protocols and was able to rejoin you for yesterday's game. The Bills were down a couple of wide receivers in Cole Beasley and Gabriel Davis. and yet a wide receiver who was inactive for the first contest up in Buffalo a few weeks ago, Isaiah McKenzie, had 11 catches, I believe, for 125 yards and a touchdown. Did you have scouting on him, or had you seen him go off like that before? Were you guys prepared for him to be such a focal point of the Bills' offense?
Yeah, no, we're well aware of him. He's a very explosive player, returner, and they had a couple of outstanding plays where Allen made great throws on those a couple of the over routes. We had him covered pretty well, and then a couple other ones, he had a step on us and they converted them. A couple of those passes were just the outside runs, really. They're little flip plays, but yeah, he obviously, had a very productive game, and we didn't defend him well enough.
Bill, on that, I believe it was your last defensive drive where you really needed to stop them and get off the field when you were, I think, down maybe 21-26 or 20-26. Josh Allen made some plays, some improv plays. What makes it so difficult, especially defending a quarterback that has that capability to make a lot of plays, improvising them with his legs? What do you really have to do defensively to keep from allowing a guy to do that?
Yeah, well, it's obviously coaching and team defense. We have to set things up properly so the players have an opportunity to execute it, and everybody's got to hold up and do their job, whether that's pass rush lanes, extended coverage on scrambles, man or zone. He's a good player, and he's very good at that, and he made some plays yesterday. We made a few, but not enough, and overall did a better job of it than we did. So he's our guy to stop. He can run, he can throw, and he's got good vision. He sees the field well, and he did a good job of picking out a couple of receivers that maybe one guy's open, other guys were covered, but he found the open guy and made a good play. So we just have to coach and play better.
And now it's time for the ShipStation Get Ship Done question of the week. Use code COCO for a free 60-day trial on ShipStation.com. Bill, you now go from Josh to Trevor Lawrence. Have you been able to focus on his game at all this season, and what have you seen out of him his rookie year?
Oh, yeah, not too much. No, we're concentrating on Buffalo, and we'll get on to Jacksonville today.
That's right, Coach. It's on to Jacksonville for the first game of 2022. 2 more games left on the first ever 17-game schedule. And I know coming off back-to-back losses might be frustrating and difficult, especially 9-4, the 1 seed, and now things have changed drastically. You're currently sitting at the 6th seed. But I just wanted to perhaps offer a chance to talk about the fact that the Patriots, last year you guys go 7-9, missed the playoffs for the first time in a while. Still now at 9-6, have a chance. The turnaround has begun. Mac Jones, a very bright future. So since we're at the end of the year, if you had any other thoughts you may want to offer up on the turnaround of the Patriots and how you feel about this season, which still very well could head towards the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I think that's really really the big thing, Nick, is that there's still a lot of football left to play, and we'll see how things go here. Hopefully we can play our best football in January, and that's what we'll need to do, and that's what we're planning to do. We're going to work hard and try to do that. So, as you said, the last couple of weeks have been disappointing, but we'll turn the page here and move on to Jacksonville this week, and then the last game, and see where things are at that point. But there's still a lot in our control, and I think before we write the finale to the season, that there's still we'll see how we finish playing. These are the important games of the year.
Well, Bill, I know, being in this situation before, I know how important it is when you can kind of control your own destiny if you go out there and execute and, like you say, do your job. Now, you probably get ready to head into a meeting today with these guys. What's the message that you try to tell, maybe some of these younger players, maybe some of these guys that haven't been in this situation before, where, we still control our own destiny, but we still have to focus on Jacksonville and not get too caught up into schedule watching or what's going on with everybody else. What will be your message to these guys today, when you get them in that meeting room?
Yeah, well, it's the same thing we've been talking about, for multiple weeks, really all year. Can't worry about what's happened in the past other than to learn from it. Can't worry about what's in the future other than the next game. Put everything we have into the game that's coming up and believe in the process. And when it's time to do it again next week, then we do it again the following week. So we'll learn from this game and move on, and I look forward to playing next week.
Well, Coach, we thank you for the time this morning again. I know tough one yesterday, but like we said, still have a chance to make the playoffs. Your destiny's in your hands. Hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you as well, and we will look forward to seeing you next Sunday against Jacksonville.
All right. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Happy holidays to all the listeners and you guys as well. And we'll see you next week.